In his book Wolf Willow, Wallace Stegner wrote, "Expose a child to a particular environment at his susceptible time, and he will perceive in the shapes of the environment until he dies." Stegner wove fiction and nonfiction in writing about the plains of southern Saskatchewan, where he grew up. The Saskatchewan landscape resembles that of its immediate southern neighbor, North Dakota. Grasslands, rolling hills, small farming communities, and few trees and no mountains to block the view. I grew up in central North Dakota, and I understand Stegner's conception of how environment imprints a child. Many people are drawn to the mountains and forests to photograph. I always feel most comfortable on the plains. I'm fascinated by the ever-present horizon lines, big skies, and quality of light. Two sounds always make me think of North Dakota: the song of the western meadowlark and the horn of a distant train mixed with ever-present wind. These reflections of both the natural and man-made landscape create a sense of place I try to capture in my photography. How does the railroad fit into the vastness of the plains? How do communities fit in? How do the railroads tie it all together? North Dakota was shaped by the railroads. Congress defined the borders of the state. Tracks filled the space in between. Nearly every community owes its existence to the railroads, and railroads owe much of their existence in turn to the towns. The northern plains are perfectly suited to growing hard red spring wheat in huge quantities. The railroads are suited to haul wheat to distant markets. Unfortunately, many of these small communities have declined amid technological advances. What remains is a reminder of what once was: empty main streets, crumbling grain elevators, abandoned houses. Many once busy rail lines are nothing but roadbed now. Despite this, railroads still play an important role in the state. Most grain still moves by rail, and many communities still thrive in support of the farming industry. The state has also seen a new form of rail traffic deriving from the production of crude oil from shale. Granger lines once in danger of being torn up have been granted a second life, and some communities have been given a new purpose, all in the service of oil. North Dakota has been notable as a place where large Class 1 railroads have spun off lightly used branch lines to short line operators. The first came in 1987 with the formation of the Red River Valley and Western. A second, the Dakota-Missouri Valley and Western, began operations in 1990 over 360 miles of former Sioux Line trackage. This gave new life to endangered lines and presented new opportunities to photograph a different kind of railroading. While mainline operations have largely given way to unit trains, these short lines practice loose car railroading with trains powered by obsolete and obscure locomotives. My approach to photographing in North Dakota has always been to first accentuate the landscape, either natural or man-made, then fit the railroad into that landscape. The two subjects coexist. At such a northern latitude, the sun is quite low in the sky most of the year, creating the perfect opportunity to use a silhouette effect, either hard or more subtle. Black and white photography seems the perfect medium to explore this contrast of light and shadow, and to reveal the details of a subtle landscape. And that's what North Dakota is: subtle. In her book Prairie Silence, Melanie Hoffert writes, "The flatland is not dry, not dark, not lifeless. Instead, North Dakota is a painter's palette where all of the earthly colors settle. The light changes minute by minute, following unassuming subjects: a wheat field, a gravel road, a gray grain elevator. This is precisely what has led me to photograph my home state."